Hey guys, it's Davey here and it's currently day 55. Hopefully you guys had an amazing day and of course doing better than yesterday, right? But that being said guys, today I want to take the topic of business for a bit and kind of talk about my, fitness goals, my goals for my body composition at the end of the year, right? So I plan to hit 99 kilos on a bulk, of course not a cut, right? 99 kilos by December. And currently, right now, I'm 91.1 kilos, about 182 centimeters or around 6 foot, and obviously 19 years old, right? So I have about 8 kilos, 8.9 kilos to add on in the next, August, September, October, November, September, 5 months, right? And that's on a bulk, so highly possible to reach, right? If I just, gain 0.5 kilos or maybe 0.1 kilos a week, then I'll get there no problem. 0.5, yeah, maybe that's a very slow bulk. But yeah, I could definitely get there, right? However, the problem is now is I am probably more than well over 20% body fat. So if I keep on pushing it 1 kilo a week, sure, I'll reach my goal by 99 kilos by December, but I'll be a fat fuck. I'll be way too obese, too out of shape. I'll probably fall over on my stomach. I'll probably won't be able to walk. I'll probably have back problems because of how, big my tummy will be. Not only this, but it's gonna be December. And in Australia, guys, December and summer is not ideal. It's not ideal. And if you're on a bulk, good luck to you. Good luck to you, right? So reevaluating and rethinking is probably not the best idea to do that, right? But of course, then again, I also appreciate how I look. I don't want to, be fat, like overly fat, because then you lose that sharpness around your muscles, right? You lose that athletic look, and you don't want to do that, guys. You want to have a bulk and not overbulk, right? When you overbulk, you just look fat. You look like a fat fuck. That's it, right? So my idea then is to take a mini cut, and then jump back right onto a bulk, a light bulk, right, and just see how I go. Mini cut will just be about 1 month duration. I don't want anything longer, because I'm gonna cut anyways before December and just cut down, and I'll just see how far I can get with my normal bulk, right, like my mini bulk. Oh, sorry, my slow bulk, right. But the other problem is that at the moment I am halfway through my strength training cycle. So if I do a mini cut now, sure, I'll lose some weight and I'll, save 2 weeks time. But, to do a cut on a strength session isn't probably the best to recover and to recover from that fatigue you get from, pushing very hard doing strength. But you should train heavier to maintain that muscle when you're on a cut, right? You want to train frequently and you want to train kind of heavy, right? You don't want to lose your strength. If you lose your strength when you're on a cut, that's a clear indicator that you're losing muscle as well. So people say it's ideal to, train at the same weight as you were on the bulk. However, it's probably not optimal or ideal for me to do that on a strength session, right? So my idea is to just finish the last 2 weeks of the strength session, jump on a hypertrophy session, or for me, like 8 to 12 rep range on about 60% of my PR, right? That kind of weight. And then I'll do a cut, right? However, then I also think maybe I should just do a, lightweight high rep session on my cut. And then after that, right, so I'll do lightweight, about 50% of my PR weight, about 10 to 15 rep range, and that will maintain my muscles, right? It will cause less fatigue, and it just kind of makes sense to go, more reps and around medium weight on a cut. So when I do go back on a bulk, I can jump on right away to a hypertrophy cycle, right? Or I could take a rest week and then jump on a hypertrophy cycle, because I have been training for about 8 weeks straight now. So normally every 16 weeks or 3 months, I have a 1 week break, a deload week, and then I jump back onto another cycle, right? But that is my ideal plan, right? That is my ideal plan with where I want to go with my next step in my body composition. Because the last thing you want to do, guys, is to be a fat fuck on a bulk, because you don't look good. You don't look good, and you feel kind of horrible about yourself, and you start wearing hoodies and stuff because you've been going to the gym for so long, right? And the last thing you want to do is to have a big ass belly that's sticking out of your gut, right? And my number one rule on a cut is, if your stomach is bulging out more than your chest is when you're wearing a shirt, then it's probably time for a cut, right? Then you're probably gone too far on the bulk, right? If your stomach is literally sticking out more than your chest on a bulk, then it is time to cut, because you probably are over 20%. Now, this is just a guess it's a theory that I came up with, but it's a theory that helps me dictate whether I should bulk or not. Because honestly, guys, we could guesstimate all we want about our body fat percentage, but we really truly know unless we actually measure it, right? I might say, look, 20% body fat, I may be 30%, I may be 25%, right? But my ideal rule is, if my tummy gets further than my chest, then it's time for a cut. Maybe by then you'll be more than 20% body fat. Maybe you should do it way before, but that is just my golden rule, right? It's just a good indicator for me to kind of, because when my tummy is over my shirt, right, you definitely lose confidence you have body dysmorphia, right? Because you look fat, right? So that just kind of stops me from going further, right? Another tip would be is, guys, when you bulk, say for like, you're in a calorie surplus, right? Let's say 3,000, right? And let's say you want to put on 0.5 kilograms of muscle or body weight per week. And, you've been doing this meal plan for about, a few weeks now, and you realize that your weight started plateauing, and you've been seeing on your scale, you've been plateauing for like a week now, and you're stressed, right? So you add on 150, or if that doesn't work, you add on another 150, so 300 on top of 3,000, right? And then you see the scale start going up by 0.5 every week, and then you're satisfied, right? However, I believe this is the wrong way to go. Don't get me wrong, I done this a lot of times, so I'm guilty. This is why I'm telling you guys this, just to FYI, right? For your information, this is my mistake, and it will probably save you a lot of time when you cut, and just a lot of time running on the treadmill to just burn that extra weight that you put on, which is unnecessary, right? Because the scale, guys, is the worst indicator to go off on a bulk or a cut, right? Sure, is numbers going up and down, it makes your body feel good that you're doing something, right? But it could be any way. It could be water weight, it could be the night you didn't sleep well, or the next day you didn't shit more. So it's not accurate, right? It's not really accurate. And you understand, guys, when you want to put on 0.5 kilograms a week, ideally you want that to be muscle, right? But obviously that's not going to be muscle, right? You're not going to build that much muscle naturally a week, right? So when the scale stalls or plateaus, as the term says, let's say at 90 kilos, right, and you had a 3,000 surplus, I recommend waiting for 3 months. 3 weeks to 1 month maximum, just to see if the weight stays the same or goes up. Because sometimes you might realize this, but you're actually still, in a calorie surplus. However, your weight just stops going up, right? But because you're still in a calorie surplus, you'll still put on muscle. However, because the muscle takes time to grow, the muscle growth isn't going to pop on the scale instantly, right? It's going to take time as the muscle slowly grows and develops. After you go to the gym, you hurt it, you tear it, and then you go to sleep, you recover, and then that builds muscle cells. It creates more muscle, right? But that takes time. And sometimes that may take 3 weeks just to put on 0.5 kilograms, right? I'm not sure about the exact number. This is, again, just random, numbers I'm spitting out, but ideally, that's how long it takes to build muscle, right? It's not going to be a one-night thing. It's not going to be like a week thing, but it takes time to build. So instead of bumping up your calories right away in fear that you're not in a calorie surplus, just know you probably are. And another good indicator would be if your strength is going up, or if you're doing more reps, or if you're recovering better, or if you're feeling less fatigued, right? All these are factors you could look at that you're in a calorie surplus, right? Because if you're not in a calorie surplus, you're gonna fatigue less, you're gonna feel more painful, you're gonna feel weaker, etc. But if one factor is going up, then you're probably in a surplus, and just leave your weight for 3 weeks to 1 month. And if the weight still stalls, then bump up by 150. Wait 2 weeks, bump up by 150 until that scale goes up. But if that scale goes up after 3 weeks, then you know that weight you put on could be muscle. Why? And I say could because it could be anything else that day, right? It could be that you drank more water. It could be anything. But if that scale goes up, likely is from muscle gain. If like one of the above features I mentioned did increase, like whether that's strength, fatigue rate, recovery rate, and just less pain, right? If one of them goes up, then it's probably muscle. And just stick with your calories then and just see how it goes. If it stalls again, wait a bit and then bump it up. Don't be too eager to bump up the weight just because its scale stops going up, right? Because here's the thing, guys. If you start bumping more calories after the scale stalls, and the scale will stall a lot of times, right? When you keep bumping up weight, the weight you see increase on your scale ain't gonna be muscle weight. Majority of the time, that's gonna be the extra amount of food you put into your body, right? Not necessarily the amount of muscle you gain. So over time, that food you put in obviously won't convert to a lot of fat overnight. However, it will slowly add up, right? I mean, when your metabolism slows down, when you stop shitting less because you have too much freaking food and too less fiber, eventually you can't poo that food out, right? So eventually that's going to all become more fat. And again, I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, please educate me. This is just, I guess, my theory, right? It just kind of makes sense to me from my own experience, right? But that's the tip, guys. If your weight stalls, don't be too eager to adding more calories. Leave it for 3 weeks to a month and then add more, right? And if you're going natural, this is just the way it goes, right? Unless you're on enhancements, you're not going to grow that much muscle in a week. So be patient, enjoy the journey, because going to the gym is fun. So just love it, guys. Love it. And embrace the strength gain. Embrace how many reps you can do more. Embrace that the next day you felt better instead of more painful. Embrace the other things instead of focusing too much on the scale, because it's not a good guideline. Right, is there to estimate if you're in the right place, but you have the window and you have all these other factors to measure your growth in instead of the scale, guys. That being said, guys, this has been my Wednesday. It has been a wonderful day, and I do hope you guys learned something from this, but if not, that's totally fine because I am here tomorrow. So see you guys then. Bye bye.